of a patch. And it is a very comprehensive patch technology, and that is why we love to rave about it. But how does it work for those that are unfamiliar with LifeWave? It is, like I said, a wearable light technology, and in the center of the patch is a crystal structure. And when that patch is placed on our body heat, also known as infrared light, activates the patch in the center, and that patch takes in our light and reflects it back to us in a specific wavelength. So the inventor of the technology, David Schmidt, figured out that there's a specific wavelength that induces or promotes our body by gentle light stimulation to increase its production of GHK copper peptide. And that is what the patch technology, the X39, does for us. It increases this peptide we normally have in our bodies. And that then has this amazing array of different benefits. And if you did want to look up for that in terms of like research for yourself, look up copper peptide and you'll see why we love it so. Two things we'll talk about maybe is how it improves our sleep or how it improves our exercise performance. Now, there are a few housekeeping rules. When we share, please use symptoms only, no diagnosis names. Tell us how you felt before the patches and what patches you used and how you have benefited and what you feel while using the patch technology. And we love to have as many people raise their hands and share their amazing stories because we love to hear them all. So please raise your hands, share your stories, and give everybody time to share so that way we will get as many people in sharing as possible. So thank you very much, Michael, and have a wonderful show.
Thank you, Dr. Annabelle. And the technology is definitely changing lives, like we talk about. Many of you have had incredible experiences, like myself. That's why we're so passionate about sharing this experience every week. It's one of my favorite days of the week to share this and see all the wonderful things that you guys have to share. So over on YouTube, nice little audience over on YouTube. So welcome, and we'll start it off. Who would like to go first? Raise your hand. Roxanne.
Hi, Michael. Hi, everyone. I have a testimony from a brand partner regarding herself and her daughter. So she began using only X39 for her 27-year-old special needs daughter who has a lot of different health issues. She had recently had jaw surgery. This was her second surgery on her jaw, and she had already been patching with the X39, and there was significant faster recovery time as well as less inflammation is what her mom noticed. The second story, again on her daughter, is she recently had a sonogram to follow up for some spots on the liver. And excuse me, this time around, they didn't notice anything irregular on her liver. And she had been patching with the X39 and glutathione patches over that area. Then the third is
Roxanne, what kind of
yes.
time frame was that? That take?
You know what? She didn't state, but she's been with LifeWave, I want to say less than 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the third story regarding her daughter is she states she seems to be getting relief from the patches when she places them on her spine. She states her daughter was born with a spinal cord disorder as well as curvature of the spine, or which led to curvature of the spine. So she's getting quite a bit of relief from these patches. And then her story, she has two different shares. The first is, I have benefited from the patches. I had a knee that hurt for several months. She patched with X39 in the beginning and then ultimately started using X49. As of today, no pain in that knee. And then also she had hurt her shoulder. She didn't give specific dates, but not too long ago, and patched with 39 and 49 during the day. And She said she was using Tiger Balm at night. I know that's not LifeWave. But she was in a lot of pain and is happy to say she's not having any issues with that shoulder today.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, so sometimes longer term use will give us a lot more benefits. And then when we do get injuries, they seem to go away a lot faster. So that's one of the things we want to stress when using LifeWave, to keep using it for pretty much the rest of your life. I think most of us here are, we're on it for the rest of our lives because we see the incredible results that we have, and they just keep getting better over time. And then we hear from other people that have been on LifeWave for a good period of time, and they have falls or significant injuries or so forth, and they recover very quickly, if not have no problems whatsoever. So that's another reason to stay on the patches. Thanks, Roxanne.
Thank
Lisa.
you, sir.
Mhm.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good, good. I have two shares. One of them is we had a friend visiting us, and he has a bad knee, and he went walking around our development with us, and I could tell he was in pain. And I asked him, I said, "What's your pain level?" And he said, "It's a 9." I said, "Okay, well, let me go ahead and put an X39 on you." So I put an X39 on, and like within an hour, it brought it down to a 4.
Wow.
So he did get some relief. I don't know if he's still really, I mean, he got relief from it, but he's not willing to purchase these yet. So I'm trying. I sent him home with an X39, X49 to try. So we'll see what happens there. My other shares with my mom. I had told you guys a few weeks ago that she had fractured her foot, and I had patched her up with the X39 Eon X49, and it helped with her pain. But we did have to go to the doctor and get her boot off. But ever since she had her boot removed, she started having thigh and groin pain. And I kept patching her up. And I think we had too many patches on, because then she had some retracing where she was having too much pain. So I told her, take them all off for 24 hours. And then we patched her up again. But this time I said, her hip started giving out on her. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on now? So we did go to the doctor and to the orthopedic guy, and he did take an x-ray of her hip. And she does have some stuff going on there that would require her to have a total hip. But I said, let's put an X49 on that hip. We put an X49 on. Her hip has not been given out on her when she's walking.
Wow.
So that happened within like a couple hours. She's walking fine now. So, and this has been the past few days. So she's not having any of her hip given out on her at all with that X49 on her hip. So we're going to keep doing that. But I did hear on another one, because he was saying that she may need a total hip eventually. What is the protocol that I've heard where, to prevent her from not having to get that done? What's the patches that's recommended? Does anyone know?
Yeah, Dr. Annabelle.
So if you're referring to the protocol that we also use on the knee, it
Okay.
would be the Eon, the glutathione, and the carnosine. Of course, X39 always.
Right.
We would always end the X49. So that's what
Okay.
I would do, is the same. I would assume it's a joint, so you would do that
Yeah.
same idea.
So all of those on the hip.
And
Okay.
I'd add, can I add something? Because
Okay.
I fixed my knee, as people know. The X49 is hugely important for bones.
Right.
So I have the X49 and 39, boom, they're the biggies. And Eon at night.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I have another question, because she's already wearing an X39 on her back because she has a lot of stuff going on there. Then she has the spot on her lung that I got her on the X39 and the Eon, wearing it on her chest. And then if I'm going to add all that to her hip, is that going to be too much? Because she had retracing when I had all these patches on her before. So is that going to be too much?
You don't have to double them. One X49. So if she has it on her belly button or her back, and I'm sorry, Annabelle, you're the doctor, but if she has in either place, it's going to go to where it needs to go, and it's
Okay.
going to help her strengthen her bones.
Okay.
But I
Go for
think
it,
Jen,
Doc.
what she's asking is, can she wear the X39, X49, Eon, carnosine, and glutathione? Is that what your question is, Lisa?
Well, yeah, because I already have the X39 on her back because that helps with
That's
her pain on
okay.
her back. And then I have the X39 on her chest and the Eon on her chest because of that spot that's on her lung. Okay. And then now she's having this hip thing. So now, I put the X49 on there and that stopped her hip from, giving out on her when she's walking. So
Well,
now
she
you're
doesn't
telling me
need
to add all
two.
this. Say
She
again.
doesn't need two X49s. She needs just one. And
Okay.
she can put the X49 down near her hip on her belly button or hip area, wherever you want to put it. As
Right.
David said, you can put it on your butt and it'll still do what it's supposed to do. And
Okay.
then the X39, up here or wherever. But then at night, the Eon. So you've got
Okay.
24-hour coverage, but you don't have them all on at the same time.
So, but am I putting all three X39 on? Because she's got it on the chest,
One
her back.
X39. My Anna Allen, who's been here many times, has some of the challenges your mama had, okay,
Right.
without saying. And Anna Allen, I gave her X39 and 49 for the day, one
Right.
each, and Eon at night. And
Right.
2 months later, she went to have one of those tests,
Right.
begins with a B, and it had disappeared.
All right. So she doesn't need to be wearing three X39 at a time.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
I thought I
Right,
heard her say that,
when you
Annabelle.
have an initial injury, you can
Yeah,
stack or you
Right.
can wallpaper until you start getting some relief and start to get some, you'll know when it's
Okay.
time to back off a little bit. But yeah, when you get a major injury or something like that, wallpapering or stacking is
Right.
a good option to use. But just like you talked about retracing or it gets
Right.
overwhelming, you
Yep.
just back off a little bit and then, reapply. So if you're using 3 and you're getting some, problems with that, yeah,
Right.
maybe you need to back off a little bit. But I
Okay.
see what you're trying to do. You're trying to, hit all these different areas
Yes.
with a different patch. But like
Yes.
Jen's saying, you only really need one. It'll go where
Okay.
it's needed.
Okay.
So I just want to say something. Hi. It's the difference between chronic and acute.
Right.
Okay, thanks. All right, Lisa, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're
You
getting
do
some
your
great results.
triage. You do your
You're gonna-
triage on it, then you go to back to the, normal way that you would treat it.
Right.
And then it'll take a while because sometimes these things are chronic. We call it retracing. Other stuff comes back up again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, that's how I saw it, and it made sense to me. So I just thought I would share that because maybe people see it that way too.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, so I wear so since she's been wearing them for a while, you can start to add more patches. So
Yeah.
that's what I did. I started adding more patches over time, and I wear a lot of patches day and night. So it's something you can build a body's I won't say resistance, but ability to handle that information coming in, the med bed technology, raising your vibration and so forth. Some people that have had injuries, the vibration is low, so you're adding something that's going to raise the vibration. It can overwhelm, so you have to like back off a little bit, and then you just keep adding like you did until that vibrational frequency reaches a good state, and then you can take it to the next level again by continuing the process. So,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, great questions, Dr. Annabelle.
I would like to reinforce what you said, Michael, where we need to think of the patch technology as something we need to use daily. Because when we use it daily, we get that compound effect. People sometimes think of it like a band-aid and they use it as needed, but that's not where you get the true benefits. So my story is I have a business coach and she got onto the patch technology and she's been off and on, despite my encouragement to use it daily. She uses it like a band-aid off and on. And it wasn't until recently where I kind of honed in that point again. But she had an injury. She tripped and she bent her toe really forcefully backward, and it hurt really badly. And within the same day, she banged it into a metal, I guess the post of a table or leg of a table. And she said it bruised. It was awful. She thought she broke it. It was awfully painful and swollen. And maybe my voice came to her or something. She put the X39 because she's only been on X39, the X39 on the toe. And she said within a day, it was less swollen, less bruised. And it was to her benefit because she had plans that next day to do a lot of walking. And she was able to do 12,000 steps that day despite that injured toe. So, most certainly, for the best results is always use it every day. And then when we get those injuries, just like you said, Michael, we can get recovery that much faster because we already done the groundwork. We already have that foundation. So as long as we have that foundation, everything else just kind of goes away or resolves at a better place.
Excellent.
Thank
Very
you.
good point. Very good point. And on top of that, we're talking injuries, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's just an injury patch, like a Band-Aid," like you're saying. No, it's something much more. So if you're taking your physicality and so forth to an incredible level, like I've talked about how I did, bodybuilding contest over 5 years ago, where I did 1,000 pound leg press, the most I'd ever done in my life at 59. So 5 years later, at 64, I did 1,150. So what was the difference? The LifeWave patch. And there was a big period of time where I couldn't work out. So my body had deteriorated to a certain point from being able to handle lots of weight. So when I was doing the bodybuilding contest, I was leaning down and doing that crazy weight. So when I did the extra weight, I wasn't leaning down, right? And I was patching. So these patches can take you to other levels. And if you like you know how you get an injury like Dr. Annabelle was describing? It's like a magnet. It's like bam, bam, bam. Injury. It's like it just keeps getting hammered. If you're not wearing the patches beforehand, it's going to take longer. But if you're already on the patches, you'll probably get recovery and maybe not even any pain because I have banged myself up in ways that I'm like, what? I don't even have a problem the next day. So that's what you get with the patches, guys. You're basically your stem cells are taking care of themselves, of course, along with the Celergize AM. So you're getting that extra boost, and those stem cells are really ramping up. So injuries that you've had are, as you age, the stem cells start to degenerate. They're not as active. With the Celergize AM and with the X39, you're super boosting your stem cells. So when you do push yourself to great limits, or you do get injury, which you will over time, your recovery is much, much faster. Kathy.
Oh, I do love the Celergize, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Good job.
I have a couple. I have my grandson he switched from baseball to lacrosse. And that's kind of a brutal sport, in my opinion. They are like hitting each other with those sticks all the time, trying to run, 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 run. It reminds me of a combination of hockey and soccer.
Definitely.
Trying to get that ball. But he played in a tournament last weekend and he was hurting when he got home. He was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can move. And it was his back and his upper arms. And I said, okay, let me patch it up. So I put a X39/49, couple of eons on him, and he went to bed. And he got up and we stuck a X49 on him, and he went the next day to play his tournament. I said, how you feel? He said, I'm fine. I'm okay. I said, okay, you're young, but that's good because it helped him. And I said, now you need to take him off. He said, do I have to? I said, I have some more. It's okay. We'll get you through the weekend.
I like that attitude. Good.
The second one was a friend of mine has a little dachshund, and she's about 6 or 7, I think. Not real old. And she jumped off the couch the other day, off her little stool, and her legs gave out.
Mm.
And the mom freaked out. She was like, oh my God, I mean, it's her baby. So she took her to the vet, and the vet told her, you need to drive her to Gainesville immediately and get her back surgery. And she was in tears. No x-rays done, no nothing. You need to drive her to Gainesville and get her back surgery.
Mm.
So she's a friend of the family's. And so I heard about it, and I called her and I said, let me give you some patches to put on her. Just put them on her she had like a little superwoman collar on. So I said, put them there around her collar and just leave them there all night. And I texted her the next morning. I said, how's she doing? And she said, oh my gosh, she's still in her stroller. She's not fully back yet, but she said her legs are starting to move again and she's wanting to jump. So I carry her outside. By the next day, I gave her like 4 or 5 of them to put on her just to see if we could get her fixed. Over the weekend, she wore them all weekend, and by Monday, she was ready to roll. She took her back to another vet, and the vet said, why would somebody want to operate on this dog? This dog is okay. She probably just pulled something or whatever. Her legs are working now. She's jumping all around, and she's happy-go-lucky. So I think we have a future customer coming up. She was amazed. She said, this is like a miracle. I thought I was going to have to operate on her. So,
Well, that's
like we say,
fantastic.
pets don't lie, right?
That's it. And, it's not made for pets, but, pets have the same physicality to a great extent that we do, cellular structures, stem cells, and everything that we do. So it's not out of the ordinary for people to want to put them on their pets, but just be aware that it's not designed for pets, but it seems like a lot of people get great results. We're not telling you not to use it for only pets, but if you do use your own,
Right.
you get great
Right.
results. You know that they're not lying, right?
Right. That's
They're
right.
not, there's no one telling them this is going to help you. There's nothing that's trying to program their minds or anything. So when they get incredible results, it's absolutely incredible. It's a testament. Now,
Yes.
even like Dr. Annabelle was talking about with your grandson and with the little doggy, a lot of people will still use this as a Band-Aid, and they won't really start to use them. So I really hope that people are listening to this and
Yep.
really start to realize this is not a Band-Aid. This is something that will take you to another level in your physicality and your healing capabilities, and sharing them like we're talking about. You'll start to understand, like almost you see everybody in here is like, no, use it like this. And so all of us have great experience with using the patches, and you will over time.
Yeah.
So you'll move them around. You're like, well, I feel like I need to put it here, and it'll work great there. And you're like, oh, I connected with a patch, and it works great. Now, we know that we have people that pre-program themselves.
Yeah.
And this is a problem. And this is a problem with every modality that's out there, not just if it's LifeWave, which a lot of people don't understand. But if you come into using something with a negative thought or
Yep.
oh, it's not going to help me, probably not. It's probably not going to help you. And then you're going to say, see, I told you. But if you come in with, I want this thing to help me, then you're basically giving it the okay to help you, right? There's a whole psychology behind that and that I can't get into, but I hope most people in this group understand that. Barb.
It's love. I love it, honey. It's the
Hello.
psychology of love.
Go ahead, Barb.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, I'm pretty new to the LifeWave. I'm into my 2nd month and I'm liking it really well. Currently, I'm just using the X39, but I'm still learning on it. I kind of followed it for a long time, but I have and I've noticed some differences. But the one thing, and another pet story is I have a cat who has like hot spots on his belly. Because I'd followed some videos that people talked about how they have been using the patches, or sometimes like the ones that they have already used that they repurpose and put them in their bed or whatever. I've been able to actually stick them on him, and the fur on his belly is more there than it's been in over a year, and he's not itching and digging at it, and
Oh,
it's amazing. And I think that that's a big part of it. Of course, we use, red light and PEMF and wave watch and all those kind of things, and so does he. But that I've really seen a difference because it's improved and it would kind of come back. But so I'm putting the X39s on him.
mm.
They say that you repurpose, you can take the ones that you've used, put them off, and I just to see how it's been working. But I see a difference. So it's impressive.
Well, that's beautiful.
So
Very good.
yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I've heard a lot of stories about people using them. I understand they're not for the pets and stuff, but they seem to get the same benefits of a lot of these modalities that we do. And also the stacking therapies, like you say, stacking the patches, but also the combination of red light therapies and sound frequencies. I think if you add all these things together, you get a wonderful combination. It's unbeatable.
That's fantastic, Barb. Very, very beautiful. And I'm
Yeah.
glad you reinforced that, the pets can benefit too. Just be open-minded about it. It's,
Hmm.
yeah, like we said, it's not made for it, but they can benefit. Babies can benefit. It's not made for babies either, but babies, you talk to Dr. Annabelle and she'll give you a, lots of stories of how youngsters and we've had many other people that have come in and said it as well. So it's
Right.
never hurt anyone. So it's not going to hurt to use it. And why not give it a chance?
That's what I always figure. It's natural. It's not
Right.
gonna hurt. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain by trying.
Fantastic.
So,
Wow. Thanks, Barb.
yep,
Come on anytime. I love it.
yep.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
So 2 months in, and you're having great results. I love it.
Yep.
Barbara,
Thank you.
Barbara heard some great things about your story, so I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate you having me.
Thanks for
So
coming.
my story is about kidney health and actually adrenal health too. But I discovered LifeWave 4 years ago when my friend called and asked, "Have you ever heard of this little patch thing?" And it was just that miracle phone call. Um, I had gotten some blood work about 2 months prior to that showed that my kidneys were on a downhill run and was moving. You get blood work every 6 months, whatever. And it was just a total turnaround from the healthy picture I'd had not too earlier, so I was really concerned and I was looking for some natural ways to support my kidneys because this thing was moving really fast and I was not too far away from dialysis actually.
Wow.
And yeah, so it was really freaky. And so then here comes the phone call about the patch, and it didn't take me long to figure out that this was totally unique, totally different than anything else that was available out in the marketplace for somebody that wanted a natural solution. And so I started on X39, and my intention was to just use X39 because I wanted the X39 story, And so I stayed on X39 by itself for 5 weeks. But by then, I was reading the clinical studies on the other patches, and all the patches are so powerful and they support organ health. And there was one study on SP6 where had a 99% improvement in kidney health. And so, I kept going, oh, I want this one too. I need this one too. And so I ended up using quite a few of the different patches. And then 5 months in, X49 became available. It was released. And so I added X49 also. So the so that was my start 4 years ago. And it took 14 months. Now I had other things that cleared up prior to that. But as far as the kidney numbers, it took actually 14 months. But every time I went in for blood work, my numbers were getting just a little bit better. And then finally, at the 14th month, I hit the normal range.
Wow.
And yeah, so it's been 2.5 years. And every time I go in, my blood work supports that my kidneys are healthy and strong and doing what they need to be doing. And it was just, it's a total miracle because it could so easily have gone the other way.
Sure.
And um, and my uh, my whole health picture changed. The energy, I didn't have any energy to do anything, and all of that flipped around. And so yeah, I'm very blessed. It was the only number I had out of alignment, and I know there can be quite a few things wrong with kidneys, but it was my GFR number. And the last reading I had, my GFR is 69, which isn't as high as I would like it, but it is in the normal range. And that's all I'm looking for.
Very good. So, man, I've never known anybody that did kidney dialysis. What is that like? What do you know what you have to go through with that?
But yeah, my husband was on dialysis for almost a year before he passed away.
Huh.
And he had other complications. He had congestive heart failure and diabetes. And unfortunately, that was 17 years ago. I didn't know about LifeWave, and LifeWave was just getting started, but I didn't have LifeWave as a tool to help him. And but he was on dialysis for a year, and it's very difficult. It's a difficult lifestyle. And kudos to any of your followers that may be having dialysis right now. It's a lifesaver, but it's so difficult. And it's difficult on the family too. I mean, I would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and take him to dialysis, and then I'd go off to my job. And then I had someone else who could pick him up and bring him back home. But it's a difficult existence for the entire family. Yeah.
Wow. So when you do the dialysis treatment, how long is it usually?
4 or 5 hours typically.
Wow.
And I've heard other stories. If I hear a kidney story in the LifeWave testimonials, my ears perk up. I heard one story of this 83-year-old lady who was on complete dialysis, and she completely got off of dialysis. She'd been on dialysis for 3 years. And then I heard another story of someone, and I don't know their age or any of the details, but they had been doing dialysis 5 days a week, and their doctor was able to cut them down to 3 days a week. So even that kind of thing is a great improvement.
Great.
Yeah.
And who knows, over time, maybe, they'll lessen or maybe even completely get off. But again, we can't guarantee this could happen for everybody. But, wow. As you guys are finding out that are out there listening, it can serve a lot of people in a very positive way. So thanks for sharing all that, Barbara.
You're very welcome.
That's incredible. I'm glad you never had to go on that, but the experience. Wow, you avoided that, and that's great, fantastic for you.
Thank you.
Jen.
Yeah, I just want everybody to see where Michael is right now. Do they all get the same view I got? It's Michael in the snow, and I love it. Okay, I'll be a good girl now. I'll put it back to gallery. So Barbara Larrabee honored us by coming on. Barbara, thank you. She's one of the leaders. She's like Barbara Lippincott. She's one of the people who has so much information and has been a leader in our Live Younger group. And she told her story Monday or Sunday night. And two things I want to share before I let my sister, she has a story, but many of you know, I was a hospice therapist for many years. and I worked in hospices. And one day I had been visiting home health with a man who had to be on dialysis, but he was in hospice, but on dialysis. They're still keeping him going. And he had need to be in the hospice house because he had something critical, and they actually would not allow him there. They took him off the dialysis. And my heart, I was so angry, and he died, because he wasn't able to be on dialysis. So if we had, oh, Michael, I'll tell you a few nightmares, but so my heart is with it. And so Jason McPherson, who is one of Michael's managers too, and he came on one day and he called me one night late, like 11 at night, and he said, Jen, I have a friend from our church who's on dialysis. He's dying. He's an alcoholic. He's dying. What patch should I recommend for him? And I called Robin because she's a couple hours earlier, so I figured I could. And she said, I mean, this is a great story. She goes, Jen, why don't we just give him the X39? Just put an X39, make him comfortable. He's dying, Church is praying for him. So his sister, who was on the patches, I guess, puts an X39 and an SP6 on him. And Jason said, and the church prayed for him too, but within 1 month, he went into full recovery, left the hospital, and was discharged. So there you go. And they took him off life support and dialysis that he'd been on. And he was off all that in 1 month and got out of the hospital and went home. And Jason, I talked to him today, so he didn't tell me he's passed. So this was last year or maybe the year before, but it was one of our early stories. And Robin, let's just stick an X39 on him. Okay, So that's my patching story from Jason, who couldn't be with us tonight. He's commuting home. Now, I have a second story from Sister
Now, just to add to that, Jen,
yeah.
Remember, he had all those people praying for him too. So
yes, he did.
About how
Prayers.
You need to come in very positive with the patch. And if you can pray with that patch, it can have an intention with it. You can have the miracles. All right.
Yes.
And I know your sister there can probably tell us all kinds of beautiful stories, but prayer is very, very powerful. And if you have a prayer group and you have a situation like that, a lot of us here have prayed in prayer groups that miraculous recovery. So the patch, along with good intentions initially and all the way through, right, for the rest of your life, hopefully, will make a difference. So thanks. That's great. And go ahead, Jen.
Yeah.
Add to that.
Sister Lydia.
Yes.
Oh,
hi.
Sister Lydia. Yeah. Would you like to add to that, Sister Lydia?
Yes.
She has a story.
So
Oh, good.
yeah. So my story is, I've been here patching for about maybe 2 months now. And so during the day, I use 39 and 49. And also I have difficulty with my eyes, and I had some floaters, a lot of floaters actually, and they were increasing over the past 3-4 years. And also like a film coming over my eyes. And so during the night, I use an Eon in my neck, and then also carnosine on both sides of my temples.
Right.
Now the floaters are almost totally gone. And my vision has improved. So.
Oh, that's a magnificent story,
Yeah.
Sister Lydia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Barbara. Thanks. Okay.
Love it.
Thank you.
Lynn.
I love the vision story. I mean, I used to wear glasses and now I don't. I wore them since first grade. And now I don't need them. So yeah, all kinds of wonderful vision stories. So I have 3 shares and plenty more where that came from. We have tons and tons of miracles in our LifeWave community just this past week alone. So I chose a few of them. And I have texts from a couple of my friends. So I'll read what they said. The first, I dove into 2 days of vigorous house cleaning for a friend. I was going up and down stairs, carrying heavy loads, scrubbing floors, climbing ladders, and stretching my shoulders to full capacity. I woke up this morning with no pain, 3 exclamation points, praise God. I'm on my way to better health and returning to full-time work. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lynn. And thank you, LifeWave. And as a side note, she's been on the X39 for a few months. And when she started, she had 0 energy and 0 positivity. So I would also personally add that it really helped her mental health also. And she would say the same thing too. And then
Fantastic.
another one, yeah. And then another one that sent me a text. I thought I'd let you know about my latest discovery. I have swelling in my right elbow area. When I first started a couple years ago, the medical people I go to said it had to do with lymph gland flow. So I've been trying different things to make my system flow better over the years. Lately, the swelling has been really bugging me. So I put an X39 on it and the swelling greatly reduced overnight. Now she's been on the patches for about a year. As soon as I take it off, the swelling comes back, but at least I know how to make it better now. And so in her case, it was the patch placement.
Wow.
And we have noticed some people do get better results if they put, and I know we can put the patches anywhere, but that being said, some people do get better results if they put the patch, it's been my experience, directly on the problem as much as possible. And that just seems to help. And then third, I don't think we've ever
It's
gone.
like a light, you know, you turn like a flashlight, you turn the flashlight on and you put it,
Yes.
it lights everything up, lights up your body. But if you put it right on an area that's dark, or maybe you need a little bit more light, so you can see a little bit better. It's kind of like the patches. So the patches are light, it's a frequency. And if you put it on your body, frequency is going to spread throughout your body. But if there's a certain area that has difficulty, you put it next to that area, and so the light is concentrated in that area. It's like, oh, I need to really focus here, and so it'll make a lot of difference. So great.
I agree. I mean, that's the perfect explanation for it. I hadn't thought of that, but you're absolutely right. And people seem to be getting overall better results by that direct placement on the problem. And then the third one, I don't think we've gone here, but we're going to go where no man has gone before in our Star Trek theme, like our corporate office. So I have someone who had past tense, severe constipation, severe. And I don't remember anyone ever talking about this, but it's a problem for a lot of people. And she had it for years and years. And she's been on the X39 for a couple months. And one night she decided that she would use an Eon patch at the point of the problem. And she said she's no longer constipated. That's it, the end. So years of this problem, which is debilitating. It's just as bad as, the opposite, a 180 of that. Both are debilitating. And so she's very, very happy. So those are my shares. I have many more if we need them, though.
Constipation at the point of the problem. That's a good one.
I didn't know how else to say it, Michael.
Hey, however you get the results, put it where you feel like it needs to go, and it usually works out.
That's
So,
right.
awesome.
Amen.
Robert.
Hello, Michael. Is it snowing much there in Incline?
Yeah, we got pretty. So the higher altitudes has got a lot more, but down at lake level, maybe a couple inches, and I think we're going to get probably by the end of it, probably 6 to 8 inches at the level that I'm at. So pretty nice.
I think you're right. We may be in for a big winter. I'm in South Reno. It's just raining here, but we're expecting snow eventually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I want to thank you. I've had the patches for 2 years, along with my friend Frederick. And I want to say thank you. I just had an eye exam. I've worn contacts and nearsighted most of my life, but the doctor keeps dialing the prescription back. So 2 years ago, it was 7.5. I'm wearing 7s now. And she was just like doing cartwheels going, what are you doing? And is going to send me, never mind that, sending me, 6.5s, and we'll see how that goes. I can see at night. Tomorrow is my 72nd birthday. Used to, you drive and it was getting pretty dark. Well, now it's just like when I got my license when I was 16. And like you, I've been an athlete all my life, but I was not coached well. I was not smart like you or in a good teams. And so pretty much everything was worn out. Over time, I get the revisiting, and that is a warning because it can be quite depressing. And I, wore out knees, arms, legs, shoulders, any injury, but it's all good. And I thank you very much. I can't wait. And the last thing I want to say is that if you have light in you, that you put that patch on, it amplifies it. So I look at the ladies. That's what I saw when I went to Orlando and I met you and all the ladies. There's a glow. If you have eyes to see, I can see it on the Zoom. I attend some Zoom meetings where there's 200 or 300 people. If they all had cancer and someone said, I've got the cure for cancer, they're dead inside. They don't, even on Zoom meetings, they look like statuary. But you look around here and your Zoom friends and family, they're alive and you hear good news and people are rocking and rolling. And I thank you for that. If you have life inside, it'll amplify it. Thank you. I can't wait to be one of the old pros with 5 and 10 years experience. We'll be walking on water. So thank you.
Absolutely. That's great. You
You love it. You got the LifeWave in you.
Yeah, you got to love the light and it shines.
Absolutely. So yeah, great hearing from you again, Robert. So always appreciate it. Dr. Annabelle.
Wait, is it his birthday? I'm reading in the chat. Is it your
tomorrow?
birthday?
Yeah, tomorrow. But hey, Mike, I have been 19 years studied a thing called Russian martial arts sistema. If you ever want to practice it, it's right. It's the same thing you were talking about in the Navy SEALs. And it's an ancient art. They say it came from God and was given to Hebrews, and the Russians picked it up. And it has all this breathing and, old babushka wisdom and great healing for people our age. If you're ever interested, we'll meet up sometime.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Well,
yeah,
happy birthday. We just want to say happy
early
birthday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, my friends.
And Dr. Annabelle wants to ask
For
you
your family.
a question that we've heard from a lot of people, the doctor community, they're programmed in a certain way. It is what it is. They usually can't wiggle from that. They have to stay within a certain parameter. We unfortunately saw that during COVID, and we're still seeing it. But as we're hearing from a lot of people, they're so amazed and they would just like to get involved, but they can't. So don't be critical of your doctors out there, because they're still doing good work out there, and they're kind of in a box. Not kind of, they're definitely in a box. So they get outside their box, they can lose everything. So
They're like
we have these
Kilroy. They're
communities.
looking over the fence.
Yeah, that's why we have these nice
Sorry.
group meetings like this, so everyone can see that there is alternatives out there, but still your doctors are helping you out and doing the best they can. Dr. Annabelle, what would you add anything to that?
Absolutely. It's twofold, right? If they're under the umbrella of a big company, you're limited in what you can do, right? If you're under the umbrella of a big company, you have malpractice insurance, so you have to be careful if, that is going to interfere with that. But also, I want to add to the flip side, where big corp just kind of keeps you super busy, where you're just kind of milling away and doing your work, and you're so exhausted by the end of the day, you have no bandwidth to even remotely look into things. And I do commend those doctors and nurses and all those beautiful medical professionals that are out there that open their eyes and embrace what is LifeWave. Or even I've heard of people where they tell their doctor, their physician, their practitioner of what they're using, and the practitioner says, sure, go for it. They may not know everything about it. They may not bother even to research it, but if they see what is happening to their patient and they encourage them, then more power to them. I commend them. But yes, it's definitely different things that are affecting physicians in the sense of they're just really tired and just have no bandwidth, or they just aren't open. And I'm fortunate that when I became a mom, it opened my eyes to a lot more. And that's why I'm here today. So I have my daughter to thank.
That's beautiful. Thanks so much. So any of the doctors that are out there that are still on the fence, get with Dr. Annabelle and she'll help you out. So that's great. Thanks. Tina.
Hello, everybody. Loving the snow. Looks lovely behind you.
It is.
I agree with Dr. Annabelle and others too that my mother is in her 92nd year of life. And from 90 years to 92 to just currently, I have seen amazing things happen to her. I too go to bed and 2 years ago, I cried to God and said, I got nothing more. I can't do anything. I've tried all the medical stuff. I need your help. And that's when I listened to the podcast, Michael's podcast. And I said, like the others, I have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I signed up and, the doctors, a couple months back, they're amazed at the blood work. They're amazed at how calm she is. And I share with our cardiologist, and he is one that when I tell him, he says it's great that you do alternative means, doctors, MDs, whatever, online and LifeWave, and he takes pictures. So he's kind of amazed at that, which is nice. So we had my nephew came from New York with his new wife, and we celebrated an early Thanksgiving with 7 of our family members. And last August he was here and he was in another room, and I went looking for him, and I was like, he didn't answer me. So I went over there and he was pretty emotional with his head down. And I said, what's the matter? And he said, I can't believe that I'm never going to have deep conversations with Nana again, because I thought maybe she was going to be like my dad and have to go into a home. And I said, at the time you answer him appropriately. It's just like the aging process, and just accept all the wonderful times that you had. Mm-hmm. So going on X39, I've used periodically. I use the carnosine, the glutathione, and all that. X49. The Celergize, love it. Tastes great. She loves that beverage. I add a little, sometimes a little cranberry without the sugar, and she just loves that. I think it's a big benefit. So he comes this time and he said, what a difference with Nana. She is now, she lost 30 pounds. All her blood work has improved. And she is climbing the stairs easier. She's, instead of sitting on the couch all day, she's up and walking, comes back down. So she's getting all that exercise. She was up, they went home yesterday. The night before, she was up at midnight and she's dancing with them in the kitchen. And I'm like, where's all this coming from? I was absolutely shocked. My sister, everybody was laughing for 2 straight days. My brother-in-law and my sister are like, just amazed. Her appetite is up. She's remembering the aunts and uncles that are married as opposed to confusing them with other people. So she's like more alert, more movement, happy, dancing. My nephew's like, what a change from August till this weekend. So I say from 1992, people like, oh, you're just dying and it's just part of life. And I say, no, you're not dead. She's more alive now than she was even a year ago. So I praise God every day. I say, thank you for the results. Please send us more results. I'm thankful to this group, all of you. It's wonderful. I don't know what to say. It's just, don't give up. Stay on the patches. Drink your water. Eat better. The more you do all that, the better everything is. Good. And I've signed up quite a few people. I think I'm at that 2nd level manager. I don't know how that all happened, but very interesting testimonials that might be coming down the pike, but I'm not going to share other people's stuff. One's somebody that's my mother's age that had an accident and sent him home on hospice. And I said, you got nothing to lose. That's just a short story. I said, patch him. So we had the X39 and Eon patch going, and somebody that was accepting going to heaven is now accepting that he's doing better. And so there's probably going to be, I pray, more good news. Can you imagine having, knowing that you're facing that and yet a patch is giving you some hope and some life. And I'm hoping for a great, happy story for that to come.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Tina. Yeah, I was going to say I would think that everybody in your family and everybody around you is like using the patches by now. So it sounds like you're pretty close. So that's beautiful. Uh, gosh,
Right?
that's
It's
that's
not it's not, Michael, it's not the family, it's the friends. I
good.
mean, one quick story.
Yeah.
I'll try and make it really quick, but we go to the vets club we play darts. There's a group of us that plays darts, and my friend I told you had the rug business. He could be on this call, I don't know, but he's not able to share. So he had issues like sharp pains and knives in the knife type pains in his leg, and he couldn't walk. He couldn't climb the stairs, and so they were looking into surgery, and there's a story behind that. But I said, why don't you come over and I'll patch you up? And at the time, I didn't know that, it wasn't necessary to have two X39. So I was like, yeah, put those on, put an Eon on and just see what happens. Well, because he knew there were no patches, he's like, I'm leaving them on all weekend. Well, whatever. He took them off and he's like, I can't believe it. I got up, I'm walking up the stairs, I don't have to hold on. He goes, the sharp pain is gone. So he signed up. And
Nice.
then because he signed up and had great results, another person in the club decided they wanted to try him. So I said, come on over, I'll throw some patches on, see what it does for you. I was a little excessive, but this person had all kinds of other ailments. And sure enough, she signed up. And these people are going now and sharing. Their friends are like, what are you doing? What's up with this patch? So I feel like it's like Fabergé organic shampoo and so on and so on and so on. And I said, I don't know. I said, I wish my family would like jump on board. I just want people to feel good and
Yeah.
and get healthy. I said, it's not that hard.
Yeah. Well, you just set the example, and eventually, hopefully, they'll come around and get the benefits as well. So you're definitely earning some angel wings there, Tina. Good job.
Well, I think, and another thing that somebody has said in the past too is, I think the people that jump on board quickly are the ones that have that acute pain. Like when you have
Right.
relief from that pain, those people are like, oh, there's something to this. Whereas my story with my mother has been slow, but the progress does come when you get blood work and all that kind of stuff. And then when they change, and my neighbor comes over, and it's like she's like a totally different person. And I said, I'm thanking God every day and say, send me more. This is great. Love it.
That's fabulous.
So
Yeah.
thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks for reinforcing that long term. So it does make a difference over time. So
Don't quit on the elderly.
So I got my hand up for Gwen Wendell, who's been sitting in her car outside waiting to talk
go
and
ahead,
share
Gwen.
her story.
Thank you.
Gwen, please
Hey,
speak.
can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I've got a story for a new brand partner. His name is Leo. He's 69. He signed up with me. He's doing the X39. He shared with me that he's had like debilitating leg cramps since he was around 65, couldn't sleep, just horrific pain. He says he started on X39 on November 4th. Okay.
Mhm.
He said the first few days he could feel like the leg cramps were getting a little bit better. Then all of a sudden, within that first week, completely gone. I mean, completely gone. No more pain. And he was telling me that before, when he'd have to get into bed, he would have to sit on the side of the bed, literally lift his legs up, move them sideways to get into bed to sleep.
Mm.
But to me, this is absolutely amazing. He's going to be 70 in January. And I asked him if I could share his story, and he goes, "Yeah, yeah." He loves the patches, and he's now going to start getting Eon. I said, "You think you like X39? You wait till you get Eon." But he's just elated. He says the cramps are completely gone, and he's been suffering with them since he was about 65 years old. So
Wow.
he loves the patches.
I
So
bet.
anyway, I just wanted to share that with the team, and thank y'all. And I've enjoyed all the stories that I've been listening to. I had to pull off because I can't do my phone and do all this driving. But anyway, I'm glad I finally got to share a story with everybody, and I love you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Gwen. Love you too. Appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All right, everybody. It's been a great show. We got a lot more people that are lining up to share. We'll hear more from them probably on Monday. I've heard that they want to share, but this is it for today. Lots of love to you guys. If you want to unmute and say goodnight, lots of love. See you guys
Good night,
next time.
everybody.
Good night,
Good night.
everyone.
everyone.
Hey guys, much love to everyone.
Birthday, Robert.
Happy birthday, Robert.
Hey, Fred.
Happy birthday, Robert.
Birthday.
Happy birthday,
Love and the
Robert.
light.
Hey, Lynn. Hey,
Yeah.
Roxanne. Hey, Michelle.
Hey,
Hey,